All right, is everybody ready? We're going to open up with a brief statement from Coach. We'll take some questions after that.
Well, thanks you guys for being here. Definitely want to give Coach Gates and his staff and that team a shout out after a big win last night. What a great electric atmosphere. So happy for them. Tonight, proud of our girls. You know, it's hard right now. It's like, golly, we're so close, and you know, we're playing a bunch of top 25 teams back to back to back. I felt like was disappointed in our Oklahoma game in the second half, and we talked about that a lot this week, and I felt like we were a lot more resilient throughout the course of this game. We know that third quarter has been our Achilles heel, and we just can't seem to figure that one out. It just always comes back to that third quarter. Felt like Lanaya had a heck of a game for us. I think you got to give her some recognition. Just really, I thought, locked in and did a tremendous job. And we had some big plays. I mean, Avery hit some big shots for us. I thought Grace always doing what Grace does, but defensively, I thought we had a great game plan going in. I thought we executed really well. The goal for us was 63. They got to 73. Put them at the free throw line more than we would have liked, and you know, we've just got to find a way to get there more. 10 free throws in a game is not enough, and I think in the second half it was 5 to 13, and you know, just want to continue to really emphasize the importance of playing inside out, being aggressive offensively, getting those paint points. I know in the first half we led them in point paints. I don't know what the difference was in the second half, but proud of our players. They keep battling, they keep competing. We're playing some really good teams, and that's the bottom line. Playing a lot of top 25 teams, and we're clearly not at that point with our team, but we're not far off, and I'm really proud of their fight.
For Grace and Avery, I know you've been asked this before, but what do you think it's going to take to put together a full 40 minutes of basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes down to kind of like the mental and physical aspects of the game, being able to come in and execute our scout, but then also physically just play basketball. The SEC is really fast paced and really physical, so just being able to come in and execute, whether it's help side D or execute our offensive plays, kind of like you mentioned, just putting together 40 minutes on both sides of the court.
Yeah, everything she said, and we talk about a lot, just like being able to stop the bleeding a little earlier. Like, I think with us, you know, we'll compete or be beating teams for 38 minutes, but it's that 2-minute lapse where, you know, they may go on a 10-0 run that really puts us in a hole. So just like making sure we're able to stop that after one bad possession instead of it keep growing.
Coach, for you, when you are looking at those third quarters from that sideline, what looks differently when you're looking at the game compared to the other 30 minutes that you've seen this past month?
Well, I would say in our Oklahoma game, it felt different than probably our last 6 games. But with that being said, I think it's exactly what Avery's talked about, and we go back and we watch film and we watch that little stretch where it's a 2-possession game to a 10-point game. And I thought we bent early in the third. We got down, I think it was 4, and we called the timeout and said, this is that tipping point, how are we going to respond? And we actually came back and tied it up, and so I was really proud of that. We threw that next punch, but they just had some key possessions. They obviously capitalized. We did a good job with ball security, but they capitalized on our turnovers, scoring 22 points off 12 turnovers, so really efficient for them. I thought we did a really good job from a rebounding standpoint as well. I thought, the way we attacked the offensive boards was great tonight, and so improvement in that area as well.
Coach, Kentucky had quite a height difference between your players. We had Tiona Key standing at 6'4", Clara Strack at 6'5". What adjustments did you have to make offensively to get your players around them and to not let them get in y'all's way?
Yeah, I thought they did, especially Lanaya. She really stands out to me. The pace she played at the rim, she had some nice step throughs. She was really efficient around the basket. I think, it's a game of chess, and, they've got bigs, so we try to pull them out and stretch them and make them guard some of our action, and I thought they did a really good job. They switched a lot more than they typically do. The film that we've watched, they usually like to stay with their matchups, but I think because of our screening action, it forced them to switch a lot of stuff, and I think it was hard, freedom of movement, trying to get open, coming off screens, and give them credit. They did a really good job with that.
We talked about that height differential, but you would know, looking at the rebounding difference, 1 rebounds by 12, offensively by 14. What did you like out of your team to really keep them away from the basket and control the boards?
Yeah, I thought they played with a ton of grit, ton of heart, and I'm so proud of them for that. Right now it's been so hard. We want a top 25 win so bad, and they just, again, I keep going back to that Oklahoma second half I didn't like, but other than that, I feel like the last 6 games, we've been mentally and physically and emotionally in a really good space, and we show up, we work. I think we understand the game plan, and they just keep battling. So you gotta love that as a coach, that the grittiness and toughness that they continue to show up with.
Coach, you talk about your team being resilient. What did you see specifically from them in that fourth quarter?
Yeah, I thought, fourth quarter it was the third quarter that got away from us, but I had a couple tough turnovers in that fourth quarter for sure. So that probably just decision making, I think it was in the fourth when we hit Hannah in that transition. She picked up an offensive foul, had a turnover on an out of bounds play. Just a couple tough possessions. But overall, I just felt like, we just got back, and we kept telling them in those huddles, it's a 2-possession game, it's a 3-possession game. We're right there, we got to punch back. And I just think, I never felt like anybody's heads were down or, they were doubting. I think we had a team that continued to believe and continued to battle and continued to fight.
Coach, going back to the third quarter, do you feel like it just comes down to stopping the bleeding just a little bit earlier, or do you feel like there's just a different adjustment there that's got to be made in that quarter?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I think Oklahoma, it wasn't the entire 10 minutes. I think for the first 7 minutes in the third quarter against Oklahoma, it was still a 1-possession game, but there was a lapse of the last probably 2.5 to 3 minutes that it really got away from us. And again, I don't think it's the 10 minutes, it's the 3 or 4 minute span that, we just continue to talk about, is just that resiliency and understanding. We score, they score, that's fine, it neutralizes everything, but man, when we have a turnover or we don't score, just a heightened sense of like urgency to make sure that this is a possession more than anything we need to get a stop on. And we just haven't been able to do that at the level that we need to.
For Grayson Avery again, Georgia Moore is obviously one of the most electric guards in college basketball. You held her to 4 points in the first half, but then she played a lot better in the second half. What do you think changed between the first and the last 20 minutes of basketball for her?
I mean, we really tried to emphasize in our scout just kind of separating her from the team. She does, so much for their team, whether it's running their offense, scoring, passing, all the above. So I think, that comes down to just, honing in on our scout. And I mean, that third quarter hasn't always been the best for us coming out. So we just need to emphasize that and understand that, she really helps run their team. So if we could have taken that away a little bit more, that probably would have helped us in that third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, she's an incredible player. Love to watch her. She really teaches me a lot on how to play and how to help facilitate and score. But I think the first quarter we did a really good job of just always kind of knowing where she was at. And I think second half she got loose a couple times where maybe we didn't quite know our matchups or whatnot. But I mean, she also hit some really tough shots that, you play great defense and she just makes a better offensive play.
Avery, talking about that defensive aspect, you finished the game with 4 fouls but had some really good defense. What's kind of the line between playing physical and playing too physical, especially getting called with that whistle?
Yeah, I mean, I probably had a couple fouls I definitely shouldn't have had, but in my opinion, I'd rather be the aggressor and be more physical. And, if I get a few fouls where that's better than me trying to take a step back and maybe give up a shot or give up a look. So always just try to play aggressive and see what I can get done.
Coach, you mentioned the efficiency scoring off of turnovers. What do you see as the key both to being more efficient when you guys get those opportunities and, making a couple of extra stops so teams aren't getting, just about 2 points per opportunity?
Yeah, it's the difference in a game like, tonight. And I think, the difference between a live ball turnover and a dead ball turnover, a lot of times those live ball turnovers are almost impossible to defend in transition. And so, I thought we did a better job taking care of the ball tonight. I still think we can, probably even do better. There's some that got away from us, a couple on an out of bounds play that we need to be, I need to help these guys facilitate better in those situations. But I think they were really efficient with it and did a heck of a job. I feel like a lot of their turnovers were more dead ball turnovers that did allow us to get out in transition.
Coach Tilly got some big time minutes in the second half. What went into the decision to play her that late, and how would you evaluate her performance?
Yeah, I thought she had some really good minutes for us. I'm really proud of her. I think when you play a position like she does, and it's game to game, you never really know how many minutes you're going to get. But she continues to be an incredible teammate, supporting her teammates in practice. She practices hard. She encourages them. She's a high energy young lady, and usually when you're that kind of teammate, good things are going to happen for you at some point. And I think she's always ready when her number's called, and got into some foul trouble tonight. And sometimes it's that first impression, those first couple plays, and I felt like she really looked good out there and felt comfortable. And I thought she had some really, really good minutes for us tonight. I was really proud of her.
We'll take one or two more if you guys have them.
Coach Lanai and Grace combined for 39 tonight. What do you think was working for them so well as an offensive duo?
Yeah, I think Lanai is, just so aggressive going to the boards, and I think, I don't know how many of her points came off offensive rebounds, but obviously rebounded really, really well for us. I think she's a hard guard around the rim. She's so physical and aggressive and explosive. I think for Slaughter, Slaughter does what Slaughter does, and she's just a really elite offensive player, in my opinion. I think she's got great footwork. I think it's probably frustrating, some of the travel calls that, I don't know if I agree with, but at the end of the day, they are what they are, and we've got to continue to work on that to the best of our ability. But we've been on Slaughter a lot about just hunting her shots and being a lot more aggressive offensively. And I think she's just a sophomore, and she's still kind of evolving into this role of how to put a team on her shoulders. And she's so unselfish, and doesn't want to take shots that aren't great shots, but we feel like good shots are really great shots for our team. And so constantly she's tired of hearing it, but just really challenging her to be more aggressive on the offensive end. And I think she's really kind of figured that out. I'd say over the last 6-7 games, I feel like she's really settled in to that, which is exciting because she's just a sophomore.
We'll take one more.
Coach Ashton Judd went out late in the third quarter, limped off, came back to the bench late. Have you gotten any update from her or a trainer on her status?
I have not. I think there was some cramping. She came down the sideline, needed a sub. Officials let us rotate in, but after that, I haven't heard much.
Any long-term concerns been expressed to you?
No.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As a reminder, we do need you out of here at 10 p.m.